Okay. That's exactly what I was gonna put on. What's happening? Hope y'all doing good. Hope y'all living well. You know, is he for real? Is real per usual. We back watching some shit today. Some slight, nothing too crazy for real. Fucking Channel 5 with the breaking news. So let's move in, see what's happening. I'll be loving these videos too. There's not one way I'm not loving these videos at any point. We're gonna pick this bitch off. We about to tune in.
We're boycotting Tesla. I sold my Tesla. I traded it in for a Subaru, actually.
Shut up, Elon! Go home, Elon!
Hey, Kristen.
You have 300 billion. Why do you need more?
Wake up! Fight back!
I have friends who are undocumented.
As a queer person, I've been affected by this. Elon is the biggest clown there is, so I decided to dress up as a clown today.
Elon Musk gonna make Cuba the 51st state.
Man. Hey, shout out my Cubans for
Tech bro, you're gonna go.
The 51st state, man.
why'd they bring it back like that? I wasn't ready. Alright. Oh shit. I just spit that bitch up.
Tech bro, you're gonna go.
The 51st state, man.
He tweets 200 times a day. The man is on ketamine and he's not well.
These two people are in bed together. They're doing
She didn't need to do that. She definitely didn't need to bring that up. I understand. I understand what she's doing, but I don't like looking at this.
Not just to each other, they're doing it to everybody. We're all part of this. It's horrible.
They're gonna kill us first, but you're next.
Fire Elon Musk and send him to Mars, where he belongs.
What's up, everybody? We're back with the new Channel 5 breaking news special.
First thing, that's hilarious. Second thing, these little figures he got here are so fire.
As many of you guys know,
What
the
the
Trump
heck?
administration has kicked things off into high gear, issuing 73 executive orders in the first month of the new presidency.
Very important executive orders.
Some of the executive orders are not that controversial, like creating a task force to disrupt the synthetic opioid supply chain in China, a declassification of the FBI files on the assassinations of JFK and MLK, and limiting the federal government's ability to pressure social media.
Does anyone remember they declassified the fucking MLK and the Kennedy shit, but wasn't there like nothing new? Like there wasn't like even though it was like shit we didn't know. I don't think it was like any actual real new info. From what I heard, at
censoring
least.
their users.
It really is a slippery slope.
However, many of these executive orders are extremely polarizing and range from mass deportation orders to bans on paper straws to restoring the death penalty to preventing children from medically transitioning genders.
There are only two genders, male and female.
Trump has also established something
Crazy.
called the Department of Government Efficiency, aka DOGE, which has the stated goal of auditing government agencies and cutting back on expenses.
The checks never bounce to the federal government.
Something that's resulted in the defunding of the Department of Education and the mass firings of federal employees like park rangers, baby formula testers, USAID workers, and other alleged abuse.
I didn't know that affected baby formula but I guess that makes sense. I think they're very anti-regulation. Which I never understood. I never understand being once you're anti-regulation, like
DC swamp.
shit just gets nasty.
Staffers expected to be terminated by the end of the month.
Now, the chief executive of DOGE is tech mogul Elon Musk, which has sparked a number of anti-Elon stop the coup protests around the country.
We're tired, and we're not gonna stand back. We are wide awake. The guy's a criminal. He's unelected.
I'm not gonna lie, those type of white guys those are the type of white guys that make me feel comfortable. How mad he is at stuff that makes me happy.
Nobody elected him. He's not qualified. He's a racist.
We covered one last week in New York City.
And
by
that lady
coup, they
seems
seem
sweet.
to be suggesting that by defunding federal agencies, shrinking the government, and appointing Trump loyalists to powerful positions, Trump and Elon are attempting to seize absolute power over the U.S. and create an autocracy.
It's a bloodless coup, so nobody thinks there's a coup going on.
He wants to be a king. People don't get it.
Yeah.
He wants to be a king.
he's acting like a king or wannabe dictator. I think it's pathetic.
We have a government where powers are supposed to be separated between equal branches.
Our democracy is being eroded.
I don't know. This guy back here, he was smiling the whole time. He looked like a nice old man too. All these nice old people out. What are youngins at? What the youngins at? All these old people out here really holding it up. I guess when summer starts,
From the inside,
we're gonna
but
see
people
more
were
young
not
people
elected to
maybe
be there.
at like
Because
protests
what
and
they're trying
shit.
to create is an autocracy.
It's important to note that the unelected buzzword the protesters have attached to Elon is a shaky argument. Not only does the Constitution empower the president to appoint federal officials and cabinet members without a public vote, but Trump also campaigned with the explicit intention of appointing Elon to the head of Doge.
Take over, Elon. Yes, take over.
So those who voted for Trump, which is a majority of voters, also effectively voted for Elon. Anyways, while I was in New York City covering the Stop the Coup rally, there were similar protests breaking out on the West Coast. So I sent 2 correspondents into the field to check the temperature.
80-year-old women dressed as butterflies on traffic medians? Yeah. And these chants aren't good.
In the city of Glendale, which is near Los Angeles, we had our friend Matt in the field.
I guess.
We're here in Glendale, the Americana.
And at the Tesla showroom in Palo Alto, California, which is regarded to be the center of the Silicon Valley ecosystem, we have my homie Albie from San Francisco at a physical boycott of the Tesla showroom.
What's up, guys? My name's Albie. I'm Andrew's homie from Frisco, but I'm here at the Tesla showroom at Palo Alto.
There's a protest going on, protesting Elon Musk, Doge, Tesla.
Everybody's out here protesting Elon Musk, and yeah, so Channel 5 News.
Let's see what people think.
We are going to resist, and we're going to resist together, because nobody can
tolerate
this.
Talk about it.
We will not tolerate a deporter-in-chief.
Enough was enough with the Sieg Heil.
This guy, it looks like the dude who played the Punisher in the show. I don't know that dude's name. He kind of looked like him, but taller.
A heartfelt autistic salute. So 4 weeks ago, just me and a friend stood outside the service center in Burbank, and the next day there was 4 of us. Last week, we came here and there was 30, and
my nigga got the Bucky shirt on. I didn't even see that. He got the Bucky shirt. He really represented. He got to be from somewhere in the South now.
And then this week, it's just exploding here and across the country. There was like almost 100 here today, and they're all everywhere.
Tesla burns to a crisp. That's the caption on this now viral video of a charred Model 3.
And it's just growing, and Tesla stock is rapidly declining.
New numbers from Tesla show its annual EV sales declined for the first time in more than a decade.
The stock is crashing at the moment. You're watching it live. On the month, you're down to what, 23%? On the day, I think it's...
Someone I remember watching, they told me, they said, hey, you should start it's gonna be the stock gonna be going down. You can probably make some money on the way down. But I don't trust myself, so I ain't do anything about it. I'ma just sit on the sideline and just hope it burns.
It's like 7 or 8% down. Oh, geez, now 8%, approaching 9% down.
The organizers of the Glendale Boycott rally say it's more than just about Elon's political affiliation, and that Doge aside, he's genuinely mentally unfit to be running billion-dollar publicly traded companies.
This guy supposedly runs the boring company.
Sorry, I know I'll be stopping this bitch, but why does lame nigga look at the guy behind Elon? I thought Elon was the corniest nigga on the stage. Look at the nigga next to him waving.
Political affiliation, and that Doge aside,
look at this boy.
He's genuinely mentally unfit to be running billion-dollar publicly traded companies.
This guy supposedly runs
lame
the
ass.
boring company, Tesla, SpaceX, Starlink, and he's tweeting 200 times a day and never sleeping and taking ketamine. He's just been radicalized. His politics have clearly shifted, and we've seen it happen with all our friends and loved ones. They go down the dark side, they go on QAnon, down the internet rabbit hole, and something just happens to them, and it's usually white dudes. Thank you. It's usually some white dude who got picked on when he was a kid.
I was almost beaten to death, if you call that bullied. It was not a happy childhood.
Do you think that Democrats are doing enough?
Absolutely not. They went and stormed
the
Department of Education building, and one little skinny dude was stopping.
Bro, a dude out here, shirt not even remotely wrinkled. These aren't even deep wrinkles. My boy in a polo, living his life, no problem. Shaved his head that morning, 5 o'clock shadow. Chilling. All these old niggas around him. Someone hit that man. That boy clean. I'd get that boy a fresh cut. Right in the back of the neck. Got to.
A whole mob of angry Democrats.
Got to.
It's pathetic.
The stunt comes as President Trump is considering abolishing the department.
We look lame. We look corny as hell.
My single mission. They know
we
how
look
to
so
throw
fucking
a punch,
corny.
But when they take a punch back, they run away. And fighting is taking punches and getting bloody. It means our actual leaders need to get arrested, like John Lewis would have done.
Congressman John Lewis and Charles Rangel were among those arrested during a march on the National Mall. The lawmakers were among the first arrested after refusing police orders to
I didn't even hear
disperse.
this. I didn't even hear about that.
All of our leadership.
That's how
in the
crazy it
Democratic
is.
Party, they're using 20th century tactics and messaging to fight against a battle troll destroying our country because of social media.
All right,
I
let's
like
take
that
a
guy.
moment to talk about Elon Musk's radicalization that's being referenced in that interview, because I too have caught wind of the 10-year-old 4chan memes being posted by Elon on X and thought to myself, how the heck did that happen? Back in the day during the Obama era, I can remember when Elon Musk was a full-blown save the earth liberal and frequently secured massive government
He got
contracts
bullied.
from the
He got bullied
Democrats, which
out.
he used to build.
I'm gonna just guess he got bullied out. People didn't like some shit about him, or they roasted him too much, and then he switched sides because he's lame.
Eco-friendly cars and rockets.
I have a Tesla.
Yeah.
Okay, and I love it. I love it.
He was even tweeting in support of trans rights just a few years ago and vocally criticizing Trump.
He's not the right guy. He doesn't seem to have the sort of character that reflects well in the United States.
But like so many Americans, both left and right, 2020 broke him. Within 5 years of voting for Brandon, Elon would be tweeting things like pronouns suck and I love Donald Trump as much as a straight man can love another man. So how did that happen? The way I see it, it all goes back to the first stage of the COVID pandemic, which gave birth to the anti-lockdown Freedom March movement, which Elon was quite fond of.
Nigga, what? First thing, these look like not one person on this lineup looks like I want to hang out with any of them. Let's get that straight. All right, the dude in a power scooter back here, exactly what I was expecting. Absolutely nothing new here. The demographic here, exactly what I'd expect. That was crazy. I'm sorry, y'all.
Elon's first personal freedom outburst came on April 28, 2020, shortly after the Trump administration and Democratic government officials in California ordered the shutdown of American Tesla factories to stop the spread of COVID-19.
Tesla, which employs roughly 10,000 people at its Fremont plant, was initially forced to shut down.
Immediately, Elon tweeted in all caps, "Free America," became critical of lockdowns and began calling the government actions of Trump and Newsom fascist.
Musk telling investors the orders hinder people's freedom.
This is fascist. Give people back their goddamn freedom.
Though initially pro-lockdown,
we've made the decision to further toughen the guidelines and blunt the infection now.
Trump quickly capitalized on the growing unrest amongst freedom-hungry conservatives and staunchly positioned himself against the CDC and blue state governors in an obvious effort to court more votes for the upcoming election.
The Chinese virus.
Do you know there won't be any more COVID on November 4th? It'll be gone.
Still, throughout that election cycle, Elon
What does that
stayed
mean?
loyal to the Democrats and voted for Biden in 2020.
Biden won. Yes, I believe he won.
And you voted for it.
I did.
But things really heated up between Biden and Elon in 2021 after Biden held an electric vehicle summit and took the stage with the CEOs of both Ford and General Motors,
Didn't invite Tesla.
praising them as the leaders of electric vehicles, despite the fact that at that point, Tesla had made 115,000 EVs in America and General Motors had only made 26.
He never mentions Tesla, and that's got to be getting under Elon's skin.
You know, like
That's
Biden held this,
disrespectful.
EV summit. Didn't mention Tesla once and praised GM and Ford for leading the EV revolution.
Biden never explicitly stated why Elon and Tesla were left out of the summit, but it likely wasn't about the mean tweets from the year before. Also invited to the summit and on stage was the UAW, or the United Auto Workers Union, the largest car manufacturer union in America, who work every single day to make sure that auto workers get fair pensions and wages.
They often did this through extreme hardship and sacrifice, sometimes at the expense of spilled blood.
You gotta respect them, honestly. You gotta respect unions. Because you're getting screwed. You're not getting paid. You're fighting against your
who'd
fighting
recently
against
tried
shit.
and failed to unionize Tesla workers.
United Auto Workers Union, or UAW, alleged that Tesla fired a worker for attempting to form a union.
Because of the company's immediate termination policy, Tesla is the only major auto manufacturer in the US not represented by a single union and their workers are paid significantly less than other rival car manufacturers, despite having reported unsafe workplace conditions on a consistent basis for the past 4 years.
Tesla factory workers in California are working so hard they're passing out on the production line.
Tesla employees say they were worked to exhaustion.
Former Tesla workers sue the company.
Approximately 50 workers were not adequately protected from excessive heat.
Inspectors found workers were exposed to hexavalent chromium.
He's always had a record of abusing workers. There are labor claims against him at the factory.
What the fuck even is that?
For excessive heat and putting workers into dangerous conditions.
Yet, without the ability to unionize and demand fair wages and conditions, these complaints have mostly died in the courts or fallen on deaf ears at Tesla corporate. Elon has said that his anti-union stance isn't about making more money for himself, but actually because unions kind of kill the vibe.
And I think the unions naturally try to create negativity in a...
My nigga got a Leon jacket on. Come on, y'all. Why not listen to this nigga, right? He got the Leon jacket on.
Company and create a sort of lords and peasants.
He got a Leon fit on.
Situation.
Anyways, after being snubbed at the summit, Elon was pissed.
So you were pissed.
And around this exact time, 2 more things happened in Elon's personal life that made things even worse. First, he separated with his then partner, Grimes, a visually liberal lady with whom he has multiple children.
Elon Musk and Grimes have publicly announced their separation.
And simultaneously, one of his kids came out as transgender, changed their name, and denounced their dad.
Vivian cut ties with Elon in 2022 after filing a petition to change her name due to her gender identity and her severed relationship with her father.
So my son Xavier is dead. He's killed by the woke mind virus.
I no longer live with or wish to be related to my biological father in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that would be like.
If we were to look at Elon's conservative radicalization through the unmet core needs theory that I laid out in our recently premiered documentary, Dear Kelly, it's safe to say that through the collapse of his family and government backing, he lost his security. Through the loss of his status as the Democrat-backed tech darling, his significance. And through the estrangement of his then-girlfriend and child, connection. It was after this that Elon entered a traumatic fight-or-flight state in 2021. And he chose to fight, which allowed conservatives and conservative media channels to gradually groom him over the course of 4 years into what he is today, which is a prideful person with a chip on his shoulder, hopelessly stuck in the 3rd stage of the grief process, angry and hell-bent on revenge. Elon's most significant revenge acquisition was his purchase of Twitter in 2022.
The world's richest guy is set to buy one of the world's most influential social media companies.
Elon Musk carried a kitchen sink into Twitter HQ this week, tweeting, "Let that sink in."
Quickly after buying Twitter and renaming it X,
that shit cheeks.
he used his
What
own
the
account to
fuck?
elevate the narratives of conservative reactionaries who were delighted to have the richest man in the world not only buying but spreading the same bullshit they've been pushing for 4 years. Still, for all of 2023 and most of 2024, Elon was red-pilled but not fully a Trump guy. He actually backed Florida Governor Ron DeSantis for president.
Elon Musk tipping his hat toward Florida Governor Ron DeSantis to be the next president of the United States.
But when it turned out that DeSantis wouldn't really be the right guy, he was all Trump. Kind of. It wasn't until the Butler, Pennsylvania incident when someone tried to kill Donald Trump that Elon said, "I want to fight beside him too." And he kicked off his endorsement with a $120 million donation.
Isn't that kind of crazy that 2 people were almost trying to kill Trump? I don't know if that's a low or a high number. I'm just saying.
Elon Musk is now Trump's 2nd biggest financial backer.
To be fair, the investment was two-sided. After Election Day, Tesla's stock shot up over 80%, though after missing European sales targets and the growth of nationwide boycotts in the US, it started to crash back down to earth, which brings us to the boycott being covered today in this video. Apparently, Elon haters in Palo Alto and also in Glendale believe they can reverse Tesla's stock growth by staging physical boycotts of IRL Tesla showrooms, which they hope will create enough of a media spectacle to at least cause.
I mean, if they make Teslas, like, if they just relate them to like you're like a Nazi or some shit, they'd have to do something like really pin something on Tesla to make people just dislike the logo and the title and everything.
Just making this point in front of a Tesla dealership and calling on the American people to stop buying Tesla. Let's boycott Tesla until we fix this problem.
I'm only focusing on Tesla and Musk because I feel like marching outside the White House or Trump is not. He's Teflon Don. So we're going after Musk because it's a soft target, because he's sensitive and susceptible and he lashes out, and if we can decline his stock price, he has no wealth, and then he loses his power.
Anybody who has a Tesla, sell it. Sell it immediately.
Yeah.
Sell it for the lowest dollar that you can, and if it's a relatively new car, that'll prevent another one from being made.
Don't buy Teslas. And if you have a Tesla, sell your Tesla. And
Yeah.
if you have neighbors who have Teslas, tell them to sell their Teslas.
Because Tesla's the public face of Elon Musk, who is the public face of fascism.
If I had one, I'd sell it. I would be too embarrassed to drive it.
If Elon didn't own Tesla, would you like the cars itself?
I don't care.
Are you kidding? That, whatever it is?
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
I don't think they're the best EVs on the market. I don't think anyone thinks that. Whether or not it's driver error, they're the most dangerous cars on the road, so take what you will from that.
New video of a dramatic crash on the Bay Bridge.
Safety concerns aside, the protesters...
Oh, that boy up on the curb. Watch me burn in the corner. Whoa.
The
That shit
boycott was
crazy.
successful, so long as they can create a direct correlation between owning and driving a Tesla and supporting the new Trump regime.
The fact is that none of the Tesla dealerships are locally owned. All of them are corporate owned. So the money that you spend at this dealership in Palo Alto goes to Musk.
Quit funding Republican corporations.
There's a lot going on
It's
here.
really easy. Quit buying Wisconsin cheese. Quit shopping
The
at
fit's
Target.
crazy.
Those are all things we can do. Quit doing Amazon. You know, if we don't
Jacket's
give them
kinda
the
clean.
money, then they can't do their horror to us. You know, and there's an Indian philosophy. Everybody has two wolves inside of them.
Yeah.
And the child asks, which one wins? The one you feed. It's the grandfather's wisdom. So don't feed the ugly corporations and the haters.
People matter.
Everyone is human, everyone
Yeah.
is legal, no one is a parasite.
Yo, what's happening, people? That Tesla boycott looked crazy. But you know what's also crazy? The fact that most of us are stuck inside algorithmic echo chambers, being manipulated by both sides of the evil mainstream media. But there's a dope-ass news aggregate that makes it all make sense. And that service is called Ground News. Every
I actually
single
like
day,
this.
Ground
I
News
have this on my
compiles
phone.
thousands of articles from across the political spectrum and ranks them
It's actually really good.
to right and center, so you can consume as many angles as possible and make an informed decision about how you feel about what the heck's going on. Ground News shows us that the Tesla boycott.
The crazy thing is, I thought of this same thing when I was younger. I was like, an app like this would be amazing, and then they made it.
Another reason Ground News is key. They also have a dope-ass tool called Blind Spot that allows you
But
to
I
see
love
stories
this.
not being covered by the left or the right. But my absolute favorite Ground News feature is called the ownership feature, which allows you to track the ownership associated with different publications, so you can figure out
I didn't even know that was
who's pulling
there.
the strings behind the scenes to push an agenda and make you feel a certain way. Because
That's the
trying
GOAT
to
for real.
understand a
Those are
world
good
full of
things.
unverified information and dueling narratives can become very confusing. That's why here at Channel 5, we use Ground News almost every single day before we go into the field to figure out how things are unfolding. Now, I gotta tell you guys, Ground News does cost money. As it should. It's the best in the business. But what
Does
if
it
I
cost
told you
money?
that right now, with
If
my
it's
link
costing
or this
money, I need to
QR
cancel
code,
that
you get a
fucking
whopping
subscription.
40% off their annual Vantage subscription.
I
bringing the cost
definitely
down
do
to
not
below
have a
$5 per month.
subscription.
So if you want to check it out, go to www.ground.news/channel5. I believe in what they're doing, and you
I hope
should
I'm not
too.
paying.
All right, guys.
I
Back
mean, it's
to
probably
the
like
streets of Palo
$5,
Alto.
but
I noticed from the California interview footage that the topic of illegal immigration and mass deportation was much more of a talking point than it was in New York. After all, 1 in 10 workers in California are currently undocumented. And in the manufacturing and agricultural sector, that number is probably much higher.
I'm just worried about the future, you know. I have friends who work in various businesses, are really good people who might not have a legal status in this country, and it just, you know, what's going to happen to them?
I have friends who are undocumented.
Yeah.
You know, I used to own a construction company. Well, you know, half of the construction workers in this
Hey,
area
CQ.
are immigrants, and about half of them are undocumented. We could not have built the buildings we built, like the Monterey Bay Aquarium, Facebook. Could not
I'm
have
good.
happened if
No
we didn't have
problems.
those
We just
immigrant
watching
workers.
this
Family members
this episode.
who are from Mexico who have been
Channel
affected by the
5.
immigration policies.
Some
Oh,
of
she
my
in a clown
coworkers
outfit.
are undocumented.
And then we're playing some
My
Monster
son
Hunter
is
Wild,
attending
see
college
if
next
we
year,
like it or
and
not.
He has a disability, so we're applying for financial aid right now that I feel like might not be there when the time comes.
How are you?
Are resources and support for more than 7 million students with disabilities who depend on the agency to ensure access to a free public education.
I also have a son who has
who has autism, and I think that and a reworking of everything to stop on federal funding is just crazy.
Honestly, stopping federal funding for like these autism programs or even mental health programs is insane. Anyone that would take care of either like, there's like classes and things that help grown adults with autism and younger adults, and some of them might be private, but like they really shouldn't. I feel like they should all kind of be funded, because it's like, why, like what else are you gonna do really? Like that doesn't make sense. But stopping that funding is like actually insane. Definitely, everyone's gotta think. First thing, CQ, I'm sorry you got that sinus infection. I hope you're doing better. I hope you do better. Drink some tea, cut some lemon, citrus, throw some honey in a pot with some ginger. Let that shit stew for a little bit. You'll be fine. But back on the other thing, cutting the funding to like think about if you have parents, right? Cutting that funding that was like, they might not get the social security checks if they're older and they're no longer working. They have a disability or some shit, I know my parents, we got a whole bunch of shit going on, but if there's something happening and you don't have, that money coming in, even for like one check, that can be someone's like livelihood. Like they may lose a payment to pay rent or some shit, like that shit can be real serious and people don't even talk about it. But like that's just not people play around with that shit too much. I'm happy the judges like voted against it. So.
The strength of a country is shown by how much they protect the rights and the freedoms and
For
the
real.
needs of the most vulnerable. And Musk and Trump are dismantling
Aw, I
all
like
of
their
that.
signs.
We are also a queer family, and I worry about my children's safety and future and rights. That their rights will slowly but surely be stripped away. I think they will not stop with the immigrants.
Yeah.
They will keep going towards the most vulnerable who don't fit the mold.
Wake up. It's happening way too fast. And if you don't stand up and protect the other groups, you're going to be next. It took Hitler from January of 33 till May of 33 to come after the gypsies, which are brown people and migrated and did labor work. 33, 34, 35, 36, unionists, socialists, trans, and gays. And then in 37, they came after the Jews, Night of the Broken Glass. So that's the progression that we're going through right now. And, the Jews didn't stand up for people at the beginning. They were making money.
She
they
like
were
6'2", huh?
But they turned on the Jews finally. So if you think you're immune and you can just sit it out, you're going to get caught sooner or later.
This is about standing up for our rights.
And even though Trump probably thinks what he's doing is saving democracy, he's destroying it.
Many of the protesters also believe that the mainstream conservative media machine is complicit in this coup as well, in the way that it's hypnotized the masses away from progressive politics, gradually grooming them into worshiping billionaires and falling for overblown culture war distractions.
What do you make on the attack on DEI?
I think it's a really easy way for basically a larger ownership, class to say, hey, don't pay attention to the fact that your groceries are doubling in price every year. Don't pay attention to the fact that nobody can buy a house. Just pay attention to the fact that trans people are scary to you. And DEI is a fun buzzword. The Republican and right-wing propaganda machine is incredibly strong, and people who otherwise they're just not engaged, and people, they've got multiple jobs, they're just too bogged down to pay attention to things, to learn about things, and systems keep them uneducated, just oppressed in various ways, that when you come home from like a triple shift, what are you going to do? Like go online and read about stuff? No, you've got so much more stuff to take care of. So I don't blame anybody for, getting into like the right-wing hole, but it's like, we'll see how good the propaganda machine is for the next few years.
That shit's been strong.
Yes. Okay, what do you like about Elon Musk?
Everything is a smart guy. He's helping us to figure out what's going on in the government.
Do you believe he's making the government more efficient?
I hope he does.
Okay.
I mean, we'll find out sooner or later.
They probably genuinely are finding some inefficiencies and some corruptions that everybody could agree on.
I can't be mad. I can't be mad at that guy.
They're just valuable services being rebranded as waste.
He just seemed like a nice.
I understand all that stuff, but
he doesn't.
The truth takes time for it to come out. We hear all these negative.
Never mind. I don't trust this guy. He's not reading
stories,
anything.
Oh, the cutting this, laying off people, this, that. But eventually, the truth will come out.
Do you think Donald Trump has our best interest in mind?
I hope so. I hope so.
Me too.
Yeah.
Hey.
I mean, look, he's been in the office for 1 month, and he's being bombarded with all these negative
80
media.
executive orders.
People have to give him some time, chance. I mean, America spoke, right? He won all the swing states. He won the popular vote. I mean, I have to give him a benefit of the doubt, and only time will tell.
You got Nike tech
He's
on.
good for this country or he's bad for this country.
President Trump says some of the money apparently saved by the Department of Government.
This nigga's handsome. I didn't want. I was gonna say nothing. Like niggas, light skinned niggas with green eyes, always trying to stash you through. This shit outrageous.
Cost-cutting efforts could be given back to Americans as stimulus checks. Last week, Trump said the administration is considering giving 20% of Doge savings to citizens.
If he were to give each member of the American public $5,000, would you take that?
Of course. Hey, we're giving Ukraine $200 billion. Why
You
not?
good? I'm
You
gonna catch you,
wouldn't take
CQ.
it?
If they send it to me, I have no
Thanks for
choice
coming
but
through.
to take it, but it's going to dramatically increase inflation, and all they talk about is saving money. Why wouldn't they use that money to go pay off the debt they seem to care so much about? It's graft. It's trying to bribe people with money while they pick your pocket in the front and they take all your money.
All right, guys, this is Albie. We just finished checking out the Elon Musk protest. Let us know what you guys think in the comments
I used to do that
section.
same thing. That's what's crazy. I used to do that same thing when I was younger.
Channel 5 News, we out, baby.
I used to be on.
Fuck the authority. Channel 5 News. Channel 55.
What can I say? That's a good video. That is a solid ass video. Channel 5 doing it again.